Gather round, everybody. It's the Wurthy of Oz podcast.
What's up, everybody? We're finally back in the podcast studio to do another episode. It's been a crazy October this year here in Salem, and we had an amazing drop in the middle of all the madness with Mr. Salt Glass himself. Let's bring it in, everybody. If you're not familiar with Salt Glass, absolutely insane glass blower. He does crazy creatures with the teeth. I wish I had we guess we didn't really prepare that part.
I sold them all already, you know?
Oh yeah, they're all gone, so there's nothing we can do. But yeah, he does crazy teeth and eyeball creatures. It's insane, very distinct style, very unique. And so I'm very stoked to have you in. Also the winner of Pipe Dreams, was that
Pipe Classic, maybe?
Pipe Classic, yeah, that's what happened. Sorry, I'm not as versed in the glass industry as my my teammates over there. I just do the clothing here, you know.
Yeah, that's fine. I can fill in the blanks. I know what's going on pretty much. So.
Nice. What did Ham do the Pipe Classic piece that spelled?
It said Ham Bong.
Dude.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, that was because we do the competitors don't vote on the actual competition, but they have their own category. It's like the Artist Choice Award.
Okay.
And I happened to be the first one they came up to cast the vote, and I immediately was like, Ham. 100%. Nice. Yeah, because I mean, I look up to Ham. I have since the beginning of my career, and he's a great guy. But he just always brings like such an amazing creative energy to the table, and did not disappoint this year. It was just like the way he executed it, and the way that the way it like fills up with smoke like a neon sign.
Dude,
it's so cool.
Next level. And so that was the trophy of or did he just make that as his piece?
No, that was his piece.
Oh, okay.
That was his piece. It was a bong, and it spelled out Ham Bong 2022.
Oh shit.
And he made another one that said Pipe Classic.
Okay. That's the one I saw then, the Ham.
Yeah, it was he had a few of them. And I got to hit it at the guy who brought it back to this after party, and I got to hit the thing. It was fucking hit hard.
Damn, So what was your piece that pulled first place?
I made a freestyle bong, like a rip curl style bong.
Okay.
Just I took like I don't know if minimal is the right word. I just sort of put every ounce of my energy and my time into what I was making, rather than like any extra bells and whistles of presentation, or even like hanging it on the wall or anything. I just put like a solid 12 hours in, which kind of lets me maximize what I'm really good at, which is this kind of freestyle approach and getting the most out of something, but having it be like sort of a surprise for me even too.
Right.
And that I think it just let me showcase my skill set better than any other idea that I had been playing with. And it ended up working out. You know, it made like, I kind of put on my little write-up, I put the rules of the Pipe Classic, which are really simple. And then I just wrote like, this is like the best bong I can make in 12 hours. Here's the ingredients, thank you.
And here's the quality.
Yeah, and I stood there and I told people about what I did too, which definitely does. I mean, everybody does that. You sort of talk about your work, but pipe art is special in that it's designed to be touched, like a lot of art is not, it's behind the stanchion and on the wall, and like, you're not supposed to interact with it on a physical level. You just look at it and you think about it. But pipe art is, you really can't experience it unless you are touching it and using it. And so there's a lot of textures and other little features on my work that are designed with that notion in mind. And so I was like putting the piece into people's hands and letting them really experience at least like one or two of the other levels. And I think that definitely helps.
That's interesting though. Like, no, I want you to experience this piece, because and it's funny, like not being as well versed in the glass world, and just having not been as deep in it as some of you guys. Like even the guys up at the shop, they're so comfortable when somebody passes them a piece, And for me, I'm still like, okay, you're trusting me. I'm going to be, fully attentive. You're welcome to pick a joint, by the way. I rolled you some.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. difference? Or?
So I got some of my Triangle Kush here.
Okay.
I got some of my 707 OG here, and then I've got a different 707 OG.
Okay. Well,
So-
I'll tell you what. You pick for me. You got experience here. What's the tastiest? Don't get
Let's
me so
go.
high I can't get on the plane. You know.
Woo, I don't know what to tell you on that one.
Yeah, there's all of the above there.
I designed these to work.
Nice.
I definitely, you know, what's funny is that's the reason that I grow the strains that I grow, is I was really tired of herb not working.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because, you know,
You guys got a lot of good weed up here, though. But
absolutely.
my
It's just,
experience.
I just feel like sativas are becoming so popular,
Yeah.
and I'm fine with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I just think that I look for herb to have a little more punch.
You want
You know.
it to be stony.
Yeah, totally. I wake up and smoke indica. That's just how I roll, you know. But so yeah, I definitely say tread lightly if if that is a concern. When I had Snotty on here, Snodgrass, you could tell, man, it just started to ring his bell. He was just like drifting more into Stony land. It was pretty funny.
Nice.
But so what got you into glass blowing?
Well, glass blowing came into my life at a time when I was like trying to figure out what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
And I was taking art classes at the local community college and just trying to, get as many different mediums under my belt as I could. And at the same time, I was taking basic classes that I knew I could transfer over to another school. But I hadn't had any access to glass. And then when it was a kid that I went to high school with, I hadn't talked to in a while. I was like, "Oh, you got to come see my new job. I'm making pipes for this guy." And it was like a dirt floored garage kind of barn space in the back
Right.
of his house, but it happened to be really close to where I grew up. So I just kind of camped out until they let me try it.
There
I
you
kept
go.
bringing little bags of swag over and just whatever. Just
Right.
What about let me get in there, and knowing that I had to try it, and then once I did, I was just kind of hooked immediately. The medium itself is easy to fall in love with because it goes from solid to liquid and everything in between, and so you get this really satisfying range of properties. You can cold
Right.
work it, you can hot work it, you can
Right.
you can do all kind. You can repair it. It can it can melt back together, and
Totally.
so
You can recycle it. You can.
yeah, there's drawing and painting kind of aspects to it if you approach it that way, and
Right.
so it lets you do all kinds of stuff. So I got to use a lot of my existing technique or expertise or whatever you want to call it, and try to apply it. There's a learning curve there,
Oh, dude.
but
There's a reason I'm not a glass blower. I'm one of those creatives. I like making things. Obviously, I like painting and all that stuff. The moment I tried glass blowing, not for me. I made my first mushroom pendant,
Nice.
mushroom bead, and I was like, yeah, that's a really cool mushroom. This is not for me. There's too many factors that I can't control. That it takes a specific type to be able to accept those factors and work with it. Find a solution in between those.
Yeah. Well, there's a level of control that you gain through experience for sure. But that seat of your pants shit is where I live, It's
Right.
that I draw a lot of creative energy from the sort of the randomness factor. And I got to the point where I could control it better and better, but I learned at one point. It's actually an interesting story if you want to hear it.
Of course.
I was working on salt glass for less than a year, I think, at this point, or right around a year, and I was making a piece, like a big flat spoon, like a spoon with a flat mouthpiece and stem, basically, right?
Okay.
And it cracked really bad. And I was like, oh fuck, oh well, I'll kind of heat it up, reshape it, and at least have something I can smoke out of.
Right.
And so I ended up getting it super hot, just ripping, almost drippy hot, and let it relax, blew it out, made sure that the crack was all completely gone. And so when I was done, instead of having this even flat kind of tongue shape to the stem. It was like sort of random, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, that kind of looks like a dragon. And so then I went in that direction and I made it look more like a dragon. I added the eye and I added all this texture. And so what happened there was that piece like taught me this, like when you look at a cloud,
right,
you see a dog
You
and I
can
see a fire truck
right.
or whatever,
Yeah.
And so it taught me that I could do that for myself, like make a random shape on purpose, then let the randomness of that shape inspire me in a direction and then just keep going. And so then, and I was already sort of doing this where I would like do a move, do something, and then based on what I did,
Adapt.
that would like kind of tell me where I was going next.
Right.
And especially in that beginning, because back then the way I worked, I had to keep the object hot the whole time. Like I didn't go back to the kiln. I was still like trying to understand what was possible and how to like I had all these things that I wanted to do, but I didn't quite know how to do them technically yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like my skill wasn't quite there yet.
But you knew you had it. It's just like whenever I figure out what it takes to with those factors.
Yeah.
It's like once I can do all that, that's crazy though.
Well, there was also people who were like, it was considered like not sound technique or not possible to do some of the stuff that I was doing in the beginning, just because no one had like really tried it or not publicly enough to share it, but the idea was that you couldn't leave things unmelted in. You had to you couldn't do like what they do in soft glass, like where there will be texture that is created by two things coming together, but not all the way. And it leaves like an undercut there.
Right.
And so I started to try shit that I wasn't expecting to survive, but I wanted to know like where the lines were.
What's the limit? Yeah.
Dude, and I started to discover that all the lines that I thought were there were like not real, and are not actually there.
It's because some dude didn't pull it off and was like, "Yeah, you can't do it."
Well, it didn't mean it was like it was it wasn't easy. It wasn't obvious like the answers, like how to work it. I mean, to keep something in the flame for 4 or 6 hours or whatever, it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
It takes like a level of endurance. Well, yeah, because you can't let go of it. You can't fucking take a piss. You know what I mean? Like you gotta like.
True. I had
to plan shit out. Then it was very different and it's funny too because those pieces they function, but a lot of them are like these really big dry pieces that are like, dude, they're so fucking harsh to hit. Like I mean, dude, with that much, I have a couple that I kept and like I've hit a couple of them. With that much airway in it, dude, it's just like
a lot of chamber.
Yeah, it's really harsh, So I learned so much over time, but that you just mentioned that randomness, and I went off on this tangent, but
I love it. No,
it's really it has it's like at the core of what I do, is to keep not just the randomness so that each thing can be different, but the idea of that exploration and also
let it become itself rather than a full executed plan.
Yeah, and then everything is different automatically.
Right.
And the work evolves. Like I'm trying to make living things and I want them to grow and change, which is like what living things do.
You're doing it, dude. These guys, I'm telling you, these pieces are straight up creatures. They are like, how they talk about that like super low black layer of the ocean. These are the creatures that live in there and then live on land. We just don't know about it. It's insane.
I love that. I'll take it.
Yeah. Let's turn it into hoodies sometime. It'll be dope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a pipe is like people treat them like pets anyway, almost. You like
seriously,
clean it and you like spend time with it and shit. You like give, you're kissing it.
I love that they have a name too. Like they come, it's like it's a thing, dude. It is now a real thing. And so, I think that's really cool because that's such a great exercise as an artist to see what your mind's eye can make of something and then and just define it off of what it already is. I'm trying to do that with my son, my 4-year-old.
Oh, nice.
I have him hit up, he'll be painting next to me sometimes and he'll just do, random 4-year-old stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to be able to visualize what it could be so we can collaborate on his paintings. And I think that'll be really cool later on in life, like, because if we collaborate through his whole life,
yeah,
that's
a really good idea. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, you teach them to think that way too. You know, you like,
Look,
what is that?
right.
You know
Like,
what I mean?
yeah, you didn't mean to do whatever that is,
Mm-hmm.
but now back up and be like, okay, but what is it? You know, even there was some artist or some musician I was listening to the other day that was talking about how when you write songs, sometimes you would literally, I think it was Rick Rubin actually that would talk about it. He was saying sometimes you write whole songs but in sections just because those words sounded good with the melody at that time. So it's like
And fill in
at
the
that,
blanks.
and then you fill in the blanks, right? To where you've written an amazing song. Everybody loves it. You don't even know what it's about yet.
Damn, that's crazy.
You know, and then later on you think about it and you're like, whoa, that means this, you know, and you wrote it. Like,
That's awesome.
you still have time to dissect it, you know?
Okay, this is a trip. That's how I got that poem done. This last one, I had these like little couplets of words
Okay.
that were like, this rhymes with this. You know, I had like just enough of the bones of it,
Yeah.
and then I was trying to like lay it down in some kind of chronological order, and I got to a point where I was just stuck. I didn't know what to do, but I still had a couple more of these little groupings of words.
Okay.
So I just skipped ahead and laid them down, and then worked my way back into it. And I discovered this experience like a few days. You know, this was like just trying to fucking finish this thing.
Right.
I was frustrated. It took me a long time, longer than I thought it was going to, and it ended up being like a lot longer because of it, because it kept like filling in. But that's exactly that's how it worked for me.
Totally.
That's wild.
It's cool though. It's like, it really is like brain exercise. You know, it's like,
It's like giving yourself homework.
it is, man.
I know
Yeah.
that's a controversial thing to say, but
you know,
homework is good sometimes. I'm just saying.
as artists, if you think about it, that's all we do is give our, told you that stuff works. All we do is give our stuff. We got more. But that's what we do all day is give ourselves homework to do. That's our job. If you think about it, because we have no boss, no game plan, no criteria, you know, it's like,
you just got like tools.
I just got stuff.
Yeah. You just jump in and then you're like, all right, let's try this.
Yeah. It's like, it's same thing with the clothing. I'm like, all right, I have all this clothing and material. What do I do? How do I put these together and make them look better? You know,
I swear to God, I could tell when you showed me that airbrush stuff. Like last night, I was like, dude, this is.
Oh, thanks.
Just jumping into it like that it's the only way. There's certain places you can't get unless you just kind of go for it. You gotta
Well, there's a big canvas behind you actually that I'm working on right there.
Damn, dude.
And
how big is that?
It's pretty big. It's the biggest one they had at Michael's. Put it that way.
4x4?
Something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
5x5, I think actually.
Damn.
And then this one, you know, like that's like my original style that I did with stencils and stuff, like all stencils.
That is?
Yeah. Well, it's like stencils and mostly just edges of cardboard.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
And I've been doing that for 10 years, but now I've stopped doing that as much on clothing and just doing the printing and different things so I can really turn the brand into a brand and eventually ease back to this stuff once all of this, you know, is self-sustaining.
That's an intense painting, dude.
Thank you. Thank you. It has a very Yoni-esque.
It does got a little Yoni. If you break it down, everything could be a dick or a pussy if you really fucking want to.
Right?
You know, if you look hard enough, I guess. But
yeah, this homegirl came through the other day and she was like, "Dude, that's the Yoni verse, bro. Like that's like that's it right there."
See where I depart is the teeth around the bottom. It just like it.
That's the back end of the Yoni verse. We're talking about, you know, there's different sections. There's different parts.
All right.
You know, but
getting into the real important stuff here.
So that leads me to my next question.
Okay.
I hope you're ready. What is a random conspiracy that you could or have just recently heard of?
So there are a growing number of people that believe that birds aren't real, apparently.
Have you looked into this?
I have not. But I've seen the inside of a bird before too. So
Do you think it was
certain
real?
that they are real. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like when you're shooting dove and you gotta prep them right away,
Right.
So
Okay. Most recent conspiracy that I heard of was The Breakfast Club, the movie. Okay. None of the characters were real except for the girl with the dandruff. You know what I'm talking about?
She was in there alone.
She was in there alone, imagining all of the stereotypes of all of the people she can't stand in high school.
Wow.
She's imagining and what they would be doing if they were in detention that day. That's why the principal didn't hear when, like, the glass broke when whatever, Gordon Bombay, whatever his name is, I forget. He's screaming, or they're all smoking pot in the library. They're all, but not her. She wasn't participating in any of that. So the conspiracy is that it was all just a figment of her imagination.
She is a creative. If I remember correctly, she's drawing the whole time. She's
Right.
like stippling or something, like a house or like a landscape.
Yeah,
And that's when she does the dandruff move and makes it snow,
totally.
which is fucking gross, by the way.
Let's just be clear that first of all, she needs a shower.
That's a sick
So-
drawing. Why are you sloughing
Who
dead skin
does
cells
that?
off on it?
Speaking of adding texture to art, I mean,
Can we get her a white pen, please?
and then, another good one that I heard of recently was that that Frozen, the Disney movie, was created because you know how Walt Disney supposedly froze his head. Did you ever hear
heard
about
that one? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So supposedly they created Frozen. So when you search Walt Disney's Frozen, that's all you find. You don't find anything about his head.
You know what? I believe that Disney's capable of doing, multiple things. More than one bird with one stone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, I believe that they probably knew what they were doing.
Right.
They're probably like, this isn't terrible to draw attention away from this.
Right. Yeah, totally. The dude froze his head.
It wasn't the best marketing move overall for Disney as a company for him to freeze his head, is what I'm saying. But I don't think that's what he was worried about. But
It's weird. It's definitely weird.
people running Disney have to just deal with the aftermath of that, though. And
Science evolves in such crazy ways that it makes you wonder if some things are just straight silly at times, like and then
yeah. Frozen head. I wonder if it's even is that viable? Like, are we? Or maybe it's just a matter of like if the technology goes far enough, then they'll be like, oh yeah, we get frozen head. Makes it easy.
Grab me Band-Aids. We'll figure this out. Yeah, no, it's gonna. Who knows?
Yeah.
So how was you had a great drop here at the warehouse.
Oh yeah, just doing anything with these guys is always fun, just because they have such a crew, and so it's run really smoothly and thoroughly. But it's like a party the whole time because there's like 10 dudes,
Right?
10 people hanging out, and I had like a chance to blow glass with a couple of them, and then just we went out and had meals and shit. So it's cool. It's like a very like complete experience, and then being in a town with a bunch of locals, all the food I've had has been amazing. And
Oh, dude, surrounding areas, the whole North Shore up here is just solid for food. You can get so much good food. Last night was bomb.
Yeah, it was.
When ate at the Ledger. Shout out the Ledger in Salem.
Yeah, shout out to Ledger.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the chef hooked it up too. I wish I could directly remember his name in this moment, but
Oh,
I kept
yeah.
sending extra stuff out.
Shout out to
for us
you.
try.
You nameless at the moment hero of the food.
Head chef at the Ledger.
Oh my God. Yeah, he hooked it up last night. We had samples, all kinds of different things. It was amazing. The duck.
Yeah, that duck was fire.
Ooh.
I think my favorite thing though was that tuna tartare.
Tuna tartare was where it's at. I had to go no avocado. It was one of these just messed up. There we go. But yeah, that tuna tartare is where it's at. Yeah, if you're in Salem ever for dinner, might need a reservation. Not sure, but check check out the Ledger. It is so good. Good thing the mic wasn't on at that point. Well, yeah, well, I think we got paid last night for the Ledger thing. That's why I'm shouting him out. I'm like, dude, thank you for the food. Shit, that's worth a shout out all day to me.
Trying to be funny.
No, for sure. That's what I'm. And I'll be, but yeah. So I don't want you to miss your flight and all that, but I want you to know I really appreciate you coming through and sitting down with me for a minute. And I hope that we get some things going with the hoodies like we were talking about. We got some.
We'll do that, dude, for sure.
We got some good ideas going.
That's just the front. You want to see the back?
Oh yeah, let them. Yeah, that's that one of one for my man here. I had to make him one. I made him a whole this because we did the poster for the show, and so I had to make him a hoodie of it. But soon enough, you'll see. We got something.
Yeah, thank you for that, by the way.
Oh, of course, dude. I got you. Your new pet.
I was pretty stoked. Yeah,
new pet hoodie.
It's a badass hoodie. It's got texture on it. I mean, I'm sure these people already know what's going on, but
yeah,
this is new. Excuse me, new for me. So
nice. Yeah, dude. I'm stoked that it came out. I had an idea that it would, but every time you press something new in a new style, it's always it's like iffy if it's gonna actually work or not.
Nice, dude. That's it adds something though, right? A little.
Yeah.
Is it going to happen or not?
That's the same thing we were just talking about, though. It's like if you don't stop or if you don't keep doing something new, you're never going to figure out something else, the next step.
That's why we did what we did with all the games and everything, just trying to like make an experience that was a little different than anything we'd ever done before or whatever else was going on. What, a little closer?
Yeah, a little closer. Yeah? There you go.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. But yeah, no, they had the Saw game. What was it? Zombie Pong.
It was like a bunch of kind of DIY, like carnival game style, or like if you go to a Halloween party when you're in like middle school, and there's all this like just silly fun shit, and I don't know, I just felt like people would be into it, and we incorporated little pieces of glass as the prizes, and then there was a scavenger hunt, and they did. We hit some turp pearls along the way on the scavenger hunt, and then there was the donut eating contest, and KGB, who does all different kinds of donut glass, let me use like a piece of prep work, and so I made like a donut pendant, and that was the prize for that. Oh. And then we had like a pumpkin carving contest, and so there was like a collab with Kevin with the pumpkin style birch or whatever, and
nice.
And then Meg sandblasted it, so it was like each thing had its own. The ring toss, I made a random ring, so
yeah,
it was fun. And then the overall points winner, first, second, third, there was 3 other things. Oh, that's it, dude.
Yeah, there's
that's
that
the
flight.
Alarm.
Can't be late on that flight.
Got to use all the time while I'm here, dude. So I'm glad we got to break off.
Yeah,
30, dude.
And it was really great to meet you, dude, officially. And I can't wait to see you on the next drop here,
Yeah, dude. I'll be back.
Hell yeah.
You won't be able to get rid of me for like 2 or 3 hours that time. We'll just fucking
stoked.
Chop it up.
I'll get some lighter.
Give me some sativa. So
yeah, I'll bring
some. The game, dude. Jeez.
I'll get some sativa in here.
And maybe a bottle of water.
All right, big dog. Don't miss your flight, man. Be safe.